There is a life force, a vitality, an energy, quickening, that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will not exist in any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares to the expressions of others. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to stay open and aware to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at any point. There's only a queer divine dissatisfaction, blessed unrest. Keeps us marching and makes us more alive than others. Martha Graham. As artists, it can be very difficult for us to know what we're doing, to find purpose, to find meaning, to feel validated, or to just sometimes you can feel that what you're doing is absurd, or especially if you try to make a living doing it. Man, that's a difficult thing to do. You know, it's not like people say, like, parents are like, no, you can't be a lawyer. You've got to be an artist because you got to make money. That's not usually how it goes. So we do it anyway, right? We go and we take these risks and we invest our time learning skills, perfecting those skills, and being vulnerable, sharing our point of view, expressing ourselves in whatever way we can. And what I've become really interested in these days is finding how other artists do that. What's it like for them? What are the challenges they face? What are the lessons they've learned? What are the things that keep them motivated? How do they find purpose? And what is that channel for them, and how do they keep it open? So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to work with some, or have a chance to talk to some other artists today. I've got an amazing guest. Lincka is her name. And she's an artist, musician, a mover and shaker, somebody who has a tremendous amount of energy, power, a unique perspective. She's an activist. Very excited to get to have her on here and to share her perspective and shoot the shit, as they say. But before that, I want to welcome my co-host to the stage to open things up. We're here in the historic Riverside studio, which was designed by Bruce Goff, who was an architect that really didn't get his dues, in my opinion, because he was different in a time that just wasn't very tolerant. And I feel that it's quite appropriate for us to be doing this kind of work here with the people that we have, the perspectives that we have, taking this space and broadcasting it to you wherever you are in the world to share, all the things that need to be shared. The artists, creatives, the rebels, the soul seekers, doing the work that we do, keeping this world alive and making it kind of, a little more interesting, a little less boring, I guess. And my co-host, I feel, does that quite well. I think he's made it his life work to make life a lot less boring for other people. He is the editor-in-chief of ASLUT magazine, which is a zine he produces here in this town, which features all kinds of really interesting stories, not just from our local geographic space, but all around the world, working primarily with creatives and artists that have something to say and ways to express themselves. So, I'd like to welcome my magnificent co-host, Prince Ferrell, to come out here and join us.
I almost forgot where the chair was. Almost missed it. Oh, great intro.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
How have you been?
We're kind of matching.
We are.
Matchy.
Blue and white.
Yeah, you know. Oh, I like the socks.
Thank you. They're stockings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I like the buttons on the side too.
Yeah. Breeches. These are historical breeches.
Is that like when people's grandmas like your breeches?
Yeah. The breeches. So they fold. I don't know.
Pull your breeches up.
Yeah. Breeches. But if you're like a historical nerd, you say breeches.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's like some southern backwater interpolation. Yeah. I didn't know Bruce Goff was going through shit. What was his deal?
He was gay.
Yeah.
They actually had the FBI did a sting operation.
Whoa.
To out him because it was like a crime to be gay. I'm just imagine like taxpayer dollars where they like hire a whole crew of people of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation,
to out you,
to out an architect.
They're like, we got his ass.
Can you imagine like what kind of fucking idiot. World did we live in? Sick. Where like that was a problem that needed to be solved.
It's really sad. Was he around during the Red Scare and shit? Let's give me Red Scare energy.
Red Scare, I don't know what that is.
Well, you know when they were like, oh, everybody's a communist, and they have like Marilyn Monroe. They'd be like, prove you're not a communist, bitch.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no. You know? So I don't know if that's like the same.
It probably,
My
I think it was the same time.
historical timelines are like.
Yeah. You know, I really should know the history specific of like when it happened. I think it was like in the 50s, and he had to leave town and kind of start over, but then eventually he came back and they like hired, I don't know what it's called when you have like an undercover person who is there to like honeypot you or whatever, but they had like a young hot boy guy who like seduced him.
Like an escort?
I don't know. He was an FBI agent. I'm like, that sounds gay as hell.
Yeah. He's
I'm like
yeah, he wanted to do that shit anyway.
You know he did. That's what I'm saying. Like he didn't get investigated.
Yeah. They're like, it's okay. He's one of ours.
Yeah.
Sick.
And he's like, yeah, did you guys see the football game yesterday?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's just sick. I'm like, but Bruce, you know, you did some cool shit, brother. And they'll never take that from you. R.I.P. Bruce Goff.
Yeah.
We should get a t-shirt of him. You know, like an airbrush shirt.
Yeah.
You know they do that when people die?
Yeah.
Him in the clouds.
I have my wife, Zia, her dad studied under Bruce Goff at the in architecture at the OU.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's Oklahoman?
Her dad? Yeah.
No Bruce Goff.
You know what? I don't know. I know he studied here or taught and practiced. I should know more, but he he had a bunch of really cool buildings. They're unique, like this one. There's a few around town. There's some, unfortunately, that were demolished. But the Boston Avenue Church, the Art Deco church, that was his.
Oh, wow. That's one of like the best.
It's cool. Yeah. It makes me believe in God.
Okay.
As an atheist, I'm like, I'll go in here, I'll pray, I'll donate, yeah, whatever you want. I like, let me just see this stuff and hear that organ, and have you been in there?
Yeah, I have.
It's nice.
You feel the presence.
Totally. Yeah. Like everything about it, like even the exit
left?
signs are like handmade and shit. Everything. Like he's one of those architects. Like Wright, Frank Lloyd Wright. He would like design the furniture and like the decor. These paintings on the walls, I believe, are Bruce Goff's originals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my producers are telling me that is inaccurate.
Damn.
But there's an artist related to this style of anyway.
Yeah, like, you know, Art Deco shit.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, it's all the same. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you grow up in Tulsa, it's like, damn, Art Deco, like, when you have Art Deco field trips, you're just Art Deco'd out, man. But, you know, I appreciate that because I feel like that informs, like, a lot of the Tulsa culture. Mm-hmm. Like, having such beautiful pieces of art from, like, 100 years ago. Yeah. It's like being surrounded by beauty makes you create beauty. So.
Totally. I mean, like, look at Paris, right?
Yeah, like, if you go to, like, I don't know, Tuscany, you see why Michelangelo and them were like, damn, like, because the way even the sunset looks, they're like, damn, I'm gonna paint some shit.
Seriously, I think about, like, architecture and, like, how it influences creativity, how it, like, the space that we're in, and how in America, like, if you go to, like, an intersection, you're gonna find, I don't know, like a Fuddruckers and a bunch of stoplights and some concrete medians and maybe like a Home Depot or whatever. And it's like...
And what's wrong with that? No, I was just kidding.
That's like, I don't get inspired. Maybe I get like, I don't know, if you like write dark, I want to kill myself type content or art or whatever, then
Yeah.
try to drive through like they're called stroads.
Stroads.
Like the roads, it's between a street and a road. So it's not like a highway and it's not really a street. Like a street is like a small thing you can like drive up and down and people walk and stuff. And a road is like from A to B, a place to like get you somewhere. But there's a term people coin called stroads, where it's like the worst of both of those things.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's also, I guess that's why we have that balance. We have the Art Deco, we got the Stroads.
Yeah.
Come to Tulsa. Got you.
Yeah.
Oklahoma tourism.
Yeah. We have apparently the most like geographically diverse spot. We've got also apparently the most coastline and the most plant diversity in Oklahoma. I'm not originally from Oklahoma. I moved here. Seems like a lot of people who live here were not originally from here. Like if you want to really get historical on that.
I mean, who would pick this? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I feel like, you know, you get here, you make it home.
Yeah. That's why it's called Oklahoma.
Nah.
So that is historically accurate.
The producers are saying no again.
Don't listen to them.
Oh no, this guy.
Oak was represented by oak trees, and then home because people made their homes out of those oak trees.
Wow. Damn, you're so deep.
I'm a historian.
Yeah.
Certified.
University of Phoenix historian.
Well, are you excited about our guest today?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Lincka.
Yeah.
She's super fierce, and I'm excited to just get to know about her at a deeper level and her artistry. I was telling her earlier backstage where the first time I ever saw her was when they were performing at the Vanguard. I believe it was a pop house event, but I just never seen someone so magnetic on stage, you know?
I was at that show.
Yeah. Just like, whoa, who this?
Yeah. Presence. And one thing I really appreciate with live musicians is when they are good at working a microphone and enunciating their lyrics.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different thing. You know, it's like if you go to a lot of rap shows, which I've been to many, one of my common gripes for like the big stars is like, I feel like they didn't spend, it's like the thing that made the Beatles good is they like played bars for a long time and gigged and like grinded their craft. But if you spend most of your time like working in a booth, a sound booth, and you're like, take it again, take it again, take it again, until you get the perfect take. And then you get on stage and you're like, I gotta do this to sell tickets. Anyway, so artists who like do it the other way, where they like gig to make a living, right? Because they're grinding, they're hustling, and they don't have a big record label or whatever, learn to like, they hone their craft.
Yeah.
You know, so I respect that. Like know how to hold it and enunciate and all that and work with the sound guy and all that kind of stuff.
She's definitely got her 10,000 hours. And I hear that she's going on tour on the West Coast, has a West Coast tour coming up. So I'm excited to just learn more about Lincka on a deeper level and hear what they got coming down the pipeline.
Apparently I hear that she's an anti-capitalist.
Oh no, we love No, I'm just kidding. No,
I'm dressed kind of like a capitalist today.
Yeah, you're like old school.
Don't a little colonizer vibes, you know. This was a shout out to the styling. I had OFA put this fit together. I do own this coat. This was a handmade coat by my sister, who is like a historical costume person. I helped make it. I do make clothes sometimes.
I didn't know you had that plug. That makes so much sense as to why your garb.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you?
OFA styled me too.
The Oklahoma Fashion Alliance, OFA.
Yes. This is like a little Louis piece I had, and like I never wear it because I feel like it's like so tight on my shoulders. But they were like, "No, you look cute." And I'm like, "Okay."
I feel like it's tight on your biceps a little bit. Like your arms are kind of like.
And I'm like,
Have you been working out?
Yeah, you know, just fucking getting those gains in. No, I've been doing a lot of burpees and like HIIT. I just kind of want to throw up. Me and my friend did a dance class too. And you realize how out of shape you are sometimes. Because there's like all these Zumba moms. And we were like, damn, like these bitches go hard. It's like an hour of straight up dancing. It's like, you can have that one, fuck.
I've been
out
trying to
to
get back
Zumba.
into breakdancing.
Yeah.
B-boying. Breakdancing is not the term you use. Well,
Zumba b-boy.
it's like a whole cultural thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of art and expression and moving our bodies to music, I think it'd be time to welcome our guest. We have this amazing person we've been talking about, Lincka. She is a musician, a writer, a songwriter as well, an activist, and she's not from our city. She came all the way from Oklahoma City to be here with us on the show. So I'd like you all to give a warm round of applause as we welcome Lincka to the stage.
Hola. ¿Cómo están?
¿Cuál es tu nombre, mami?
Lincka.
Me gusta.
Okay, Spanish King.
You know, I know. A little poco.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, lo siento, no habla español. But
Oh,
I try
good.
the accent. My mom
That was
speaks
good.
fluent Spanish. She has like a degree in Spanish literature. And I was homeschooled,
Nice.
but she was worried about her accent, which is like apparently really, really good. But she was like, as an artist, she was just like self-conscious. And that's
Yeah.
what she told me later in life. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah. That's so real. Like, yeah, my mommy has a really, really thick accent, but she's very like white. So people think she's like American. And anyway, I have like a whole story about that, but I don't know if I should get into it.
well, I think it's relevant.
Yeah.
So let's talk
It's a
about that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a story that I want to write a song about. But my family and I were at Home Depot, and long story short, Dario and I, my brother, were on like another line, and my mom was in a separate line. So it looked like we weren't together, and we're a little more brown than my mom, so we kind of came out like my dad. And so, long story short, this lady, like Dario and I were talking in Spanish. We were like laughing. I don't know what we were saying, and then this lady was like to my mom. She was like, "Can you believe them? Like, they're speaking Spanish. Like, this is America type beat." And then Mommy was like, "Those are my children."
I bet she cracked her damn face. Like, what?
Oh, she got so red. And then Mommy just like walked over to us. And we didn't know what happened at that point. We just knew that something happened. And then she was just like, "Te digo después," like, "I'll tell you later." And yeah, and then she told us later. But I just thought it was so interesting. Like, the moment that Mommy opens her mouth is when she'll receive judgment. So it's just so interesting.
Could you talk about a little, because in your music you reference your ethnicity and your Mexican American heritage, or
Yes.
could you talk about that at all?
Yeah,
How
so
it references, at least related to your art?
yeah, I mean, definitely a big part of who I am. I mean, I was born in Eagle Pass, Texas, and then my family was born in Coahuila, so like right on the other side. And actually, my song Gardenias, I talk a little bit about it. Like, I was born, like I said, Eagle Pass, Texas. Dario was born in Piedras Negras, Coahuila, and it's like 10 minutes away from each other. But we had different lives in that way, you know. So the song's called Gardenias, and I always felt like I could speak about so many things because I was born here. So that's kind of in the song. I'm like, "No me pueden hacer nada a mí, no me pueden hacer nada a mí." Like, you can't do nothing to me, kind of. And I always felt that like pressure, but good kind of pressure. Because at the same time, I was like speaking up for my family, just people that I cared about. And I mean, thankfully, everybody now in my family are American citizens and things like that.
Oh, nice.
So, like, in my immediate family, I mean, obviously I got my primos and tios and tias. That's a whole other story. But yeah, so it's definitely like a part of who I am in my music. I think it's cool because now it's becoming more like popular to kind of claim who you are. So it's been fun. There's the benefits, but it wasn't so fun for a while, you know?
Yeah. There was like this shift in wokeness in 2016.
Yes.
That's when people stopped calling me Ferrell and started calling me Ferrell. And I'm talking to all you white people on camera. Yeah. When the fuck did I become Ferrell? Not my name. but they like Ferrell, and it's like my name is Ferrell, like
right,
like the fuck.
the fuck.
But also, I think it's like cool that now it's like, yeah, we want to embrace this like multicultural aspect of like America and like the beauty that it is, but a lot of us grew up when it wasn't like that, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
in a sense, you're being gaslit about like the having that special identity. But I think it's definitely something to lean into, and like I think it's so cool how you do that with your artistry, like.
Thank you.
And like the way you mix the Spanish with the English, and then I just think it's so cool. Like, have you seen that Kali Uchis thing? Right, you're like anything Kali Uchis. Me too.
I love her. I love her.
She was talking at like, I think it was like the women's. I'm ruining this. Probably the women's Grammys or like the women's. It was like a women's thing, and she was like, sing in English and in Spanish. I don't give a fuck, you know. And it's like, yeah, like. Like your music is emitted from your like soul, like that's your art, and like I think it's so beautiful that you're able to do that in like multiple languages. And I think it's so ignorant about the lady at Home Depot, because it's like I went to the Netherlands, right, and like Dutch people just sound like quack 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 quack. I don't know how to like describe it, like, quack, 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 quack. And like this guy's quacking at me, and I'm like, what? And then he's like, oh, you're an American. Like, yeah, like you spoke English. You could have just told me this. And I'm like, not that he just switched it the fuck up and is speaking English.
Oh my God.
But it's like, it's normal to be able to hop into different languages. But then Americans are just so like, I can't believe it. It's like, if you're dumb, just say that. Like,
right.
You felt Spanish one, just say that.
Just say it. I feel that in regards to like, growing up, though, it was not smart. It was perceived not smart to like bounce back and forth, because it meant that you didn't speak. Even now, the term "no sabo kid." I don't know if you've heard of "no sabo kid."
No, what does that mean?
So, "no sabo" is basically a mispronunciation of saying that you don't know. So, like.
No sabe?
Sí, no sabes.
But then you say, no, I'm a no sabe. I'm a no sabe.
O no sé. O no sé. Like, you know, say it, right? O no sabes. Like, you don't know, right? But kids growing up that don't know how to speak the language, right? The Spanish language correctly. They say, ay, no sabo. Like, no sabo. Like, out of frustration. And they're saying it incorrectly. So then they're being called no sabo kids.
Oh, okay. Do you know about Jenny 6'9"? Soy la 69.
Oh, yeah.
Chingona. She's funny as hell. But my primos are like, that bitch cannot speak Spanish. And like, they really be on her head. But she has the balls to get out there.
I know. But so many, like, Selena Quintanilla didn't speak Spanish well.
I like Jenny 6'9" too. We love you. We would love to have you on the podcast.
Of course. That'd be iconic. but yeah, it's like interesting. It's also interesting because obviously the Spanish language is a colonized language. People surprisingly sometimes forget that. They don't even know that. And it's like English and Spanish is just different colonizers, but it's all colonized.
Wow.
So like Spanish is native in a lot of ways. To speak Spanish in the US, that's like powerful. Like that comes with its own oppression. But it comes from like Spanish is an oppressive language in Mexico because we were speaking native languages.
Different tribes of native people.
Yes.
Right, that had different languages, different cultures, different dialects, different food, different literal ethnicities, like different genet, like, yeah.
So that's a whole other thing too, because like I wrote a song off of my Blank Slate of Mind EP in 2019, and I'm like, I go like, dilo con ganas, el español es el lenguaje del amor. Like I say that. And my brother Dario and I wrote it together. But now we look back at it and we're kind of like if you know the history of the Spanish language, is it really the language of love? Like, obviously it sounds beautiful and all these things, but like, that's why it's so important to get to know who you are and your community because we have our own history that's not catered to like white culture, because like we're perceived as we're gonna be perceived as like native people, which we are in a lot of ways, but we also have our own storyline of how we got here, and there's a lot of colonization that happened as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I wonder how that shows up in your music, you know? Like,
I know. That's why I'm excited to go like to the West Coast tour. I want to see how I'm perceived. I mean, who cares how I'm perceived? I'm trying to let go of perception. Like, that's so exhausting.
yeah.
But at the same time, though, it's like, I wonder how people will take it. Because,
okay, so have you lived here? Well, are you a born American, like, baby to
Texas.
You know?
yeah, Texas, born in Texas.
So I have a friend, he's a dreamer, and he's in Los Angeles at a residency. And I forget, I learned all these Spanish terms, and I remember in the moment, and it's like, ah.
No, you're good.
But he was saying that, like, he remembers his younger years in Mexico, but, like, all the art he makes that references it, other, like, Mexicans are like, in so many words, yeah, but, like, that's cliche that you remember that. But he's like, that's what I remember. And, like,
Interesting.
and this is my experience as, like, a dreamer. Like, I'm pretty much a naturalized American citizen. And, like, I still, my art is still tied to where my grandma is and, like, the lineage there. But it's almost like disenfranchising on both sides. You've really opened my eyes to that. Like, but then again, he's over there and he's, like, learning so much more because it's, like, LA has like a
Chicano
huge
culture.
Yeah. So he's just been like getting his life there. So I think you're gonna love it.
I'm so
it's
excited.
Like all the colors of the tapestry.
Yes,
You know?
and like different versions. I feel like, well, I mean, we'll see, but like different versions of me everywhere, probably.
Yes.
Like sometimes, I truly love like Oklahoma City. Like I really do. Tulsa. Like I found my voice in a lot of ways. But sometimes it does feel like sometimes it just feels like I'm the only one doing what I'm doing. So like sometimes I want to get challenged or if I see another artist, they're inspiring and they're doing their own thing, but it's just different. Like, you know, I'd love to see different versions of myself in different like aspects of art. You know, it'll always be like me on a bill with maybe like country artist or indie rock, which I really love that music. But it's like, I wonder if I'm like stunting my growth sometimes in regards to my genre and culture of music.
How would you describe your genre?
That's such a good question.
Lincka shit.
Like honestly, yeah, I say that a lot. I'm just like, it's just a Lincka song, but I don't know. It's very difficult. A lot of radio stations have told me it's difficult to describe my music. I mean, fans too. I mean, I've always said just like Latinx indie pop.
See, because you give like
experimental.
Yeah, because you give me like how Kali Uchis is like a Latinx R&B act. You give me Latinx pop star, but then it's like. But it's like Kali Uchis is like the first of that. But then you're more like in this indie lane doing the same thing. So it's like, I don't think you should be so caught up on like
the branding.
And like basic bitches trying to understand and label you.
I know. That's such a good point.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it is like exhausting. Like it's like
you're like,
the
perceptions.
It's like, well, the quote mentions, like the quote I said earlier today mentions, like, it's not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares to the expressions of others. It's your business to keep the channel open, right? Like, you just let it happen.
I just let it happen.
And let other people do what they will with it.
Because there's millions of little girls that look just like you and, like, that want to hear it. Like, I was reading about how Selena Gomez, you know, she has the most followers on Instagram and on social media, period. But that's because she was the first Latina Disney Channel star whose show was syndicated in Latin American countries. So these little girls are like, oh, watching Wizards Waverly Place, but it's dubbed in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's a whole audience that's like not even getting like the shine it deserves. And it's more than like half of this side of like the earth we live on. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're a voice for real.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. I want to keep going. I want to keep being more myself. I catch myself, like speaking of like Selena Gomez, like I catch myself wanting to maybe just make like a hyper pop song just because I know I could do it. And it could be really cool, you know? But then I'm like, am I just doing it because I want to do it, or am I doing it because like I want to just give it a shot or do like play the game? So I've been meditating on that a lot because like I really love what I do so much, but I realize that it's different. It's different, and I think that's why people like it so much. But I think there's a good way of executing it, but still not losing like my
Your
aura, my je ne sais quoi. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw you perform, you were like kicking off your shoes. I was like, I know that's right. Get into it. It was so good.
Where?
I don't know. I think
I kicked off my shoes.
I think you kicked off your shoes, and I was like, oh shit! Like you were into it.
I was getting to it. Yeah.
But
Did it fly off?
Yeah, but you were still on stage. It was okay. Maybe it hurt, but I was like, yes. I was living for it.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you're just on some rock star shit. Like, it was good.
That's amazing.
So speaking of rock star,
I love
right?
myself.
Like when you perform, you have so much energy and expression. Is that
Thank you.
Is that like how do you? Where does that come from?
It definitely, it's like an instinct. It comes naturally, for sure. I mean, since I was a kid. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm still like grinding every day, whether it's like 8 to 5 or like I'm still out here being like, I'm a social worker in a lot of ways. Like, and so when I'm on stage, it's like a release of all of that, you know? And so that has a lot to do with it. I mean, or like I worked hard to be on that stage. So I'm gonna, it wasn't just given to me. Like I had to really work hard. I mean, everybody works hard. I'm not saying that, but I'm more so saying like, this is the moment. Like I always see my performances as the moment and I'm gonna give it my all. And then it's kind of like a release where I just feel like accomplished after. And then also having like my bandmates or the producers I work with, we work really hard to have a tight set. So we also have like standards, and that's also really cool to have a really technical band who, you know, we have cues and technicalities that I have to make sure I hit, or else it's just not gonna hit as hard because the eyes are on me, but I wanna like focus on points that are extremely impressive of my band too.
Do you count rhythms in your head at all?
I mean, now I definitely do. I'm in this new wave where I'm 100% live. I'm a 100% live band. Usually I do like backing tracks, so like electronic mixed with my live band. But that felt like it ran its course, and I wanted to let go of the backing tracks because sometimes like the audience wants us to keep going, and like we can't. I mean, right. And I'm sure there's ways, but like in order for us to be like on point, like there's an end to it. And so I didn't like that. Sometimes people want us to keep going, or you just feel the energy, let's go again, and it's like, oh, we can't just do that in the moment. So now that it's full band for me and like full live band, I catch myself counting beats, and I also I'm doing a little bit of drumming classes with my drummer, because I'd love to hop on the drums. So things like that where I'm paying more attention, because I'm getting so much closer with my bandmates. I'm paying more attention to what they do, and it's making me a better performer.
Can I ask some questions about that? So what is that dynamic of like writing a song with a band? What does that look like for you? Yeah,
so I love curating playlists for my band and the direction that I want to go for new projects. I used to not do that. I used to be like, if I listen to other people's music, I'm going to subconsciously create the same thing. And I used to like, sometimes I wouldn't even listen to really popular songs just because they're so catchy. And you see, like, if you like really break it down, you see a lot of like repetition in regards to melodies and in pop. People want to feel like they know what's coming. So, but now I'm like, no, there's incredible music out there. There's incredible artists. I want to listen to the greats. Like, I want to be one of the greats.
Who are some of your like lists, your top?
So I listen to a lot of Celia Cruz, which is like a big inspiration of mine. But you know, she's all Latinx, like salsa, highly like dance music with a lot of percussion and chants and trumpets and strings, like so much. And then, but then I also love my like Kali Uchis, or I love Tyler the Creator or Kendrick. You know, I also love them so much. But I also like listening to like Latinx indie bands, so like the Marias. They're one of my favorite bands right now.
Okay.
Luna Luna, I actually opened for them at Resonant Head.
Oh, nice.
They're like on the up and up, and not necessarily music that I really want to emulate, but I respect what they're doing.
Well, I feel like as artists, like we have to have, like we are influenced no matter what. Like
Yes.
if you look outside and see a sunrise, or birds you think are beautiful, or the sounds of things, like as a visual artist, I am overtly referencing Italian master Renaissance stuff in my work intentionally, that I want people to see like, oh, that looks like Caravaggio, who's a painter I really like. But it's there's things that are different. Like I'm not as good as Caravaggio is at painting. But I think that like, I don't know, I think as like artists, we can feel like our job is to be unique. Our job is to be different and like to be original. And that if our work is referencing somebody else's work or similar, weirdly, it really bothers me when people tell me I look like Prince, and it has nothing to do with art, but like, I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking Prince. Okay. Like there's other light skinned dudes with curly hair and a mustache. Like, give me a break.
I would say you look like Lionel Richie.
I get that a lot too. Those are the other ones.
Him
and I
off.
fucking
You're
hate
pissing
it.
him off.
I'm triggering him.
No, yeah, seriously. No, but I think the thing is, it's like, there's some desire in my ego, I guess, to be unique. To be a special
like,
snowflake
Trueson.
that's never existed before, right?
Yeah.
And I think that as artists, we can get really
I get you on that though.
just like, I want to, anyway. So this quote, the channel, right? The concept is, it's like, you know, there's only one of you in all of time, right?
Right.
So your expression is unique.
Yeah.
There's only one of you. There's only ever one you. So whether your work is referencing or looking or sounding or similar to somebody else's thing, there was only ever one Prince. There's only ever one Lionel Richie. So people may say I look like him, but anyway, just a thing I think about. But going back to the earlier question, with the way that you write music with your band and what that looks like, we got into like talking about the references.
Right. No, but I feel you in that real quick, because like, I think it's the ego, which the ego is not all bad. Like it's okay to want to be unique, but the thing is, the more you try to be it, like you're already, like you're saying, you're already. So I rarely get compared, and sometimes I wish I was. And so I'm kind of like on the other end, because they're like, oh, I can't describe it, and it feels good, but it's also like on the one-offs that I do get compared, I get excited, and I listen to that specific artist more and see like the similarities and stuff. But you know, but yeah. So and then it depends, like with my band. So sometimes, like if they're on that wave of like listening to the playlists, like recently I've been more confident in like letting them know what I want to do, rather than like, oh, whatever we're feeling, like I always do that. And now
So you're the director, and do you hold that role?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. And
do you have like melodies or like in your mind ahead of time of like, do you play any other instruments besides singing vocals?
I do play guitar.
Is that involved in like, do you write the melodies that way or?
On my own, I would love to feel that sort of security in myself to bring the guitar out with my band. They would so support me in it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, but just sometimes it distracts for me when I want to get a message across. It kind of feels like in the way. Mm-hmm. So I think the style of music that I'm doing right now isn't. I don't want to pick up my guitar yet, but yeah, like I'll have melody ideas, or sometimes I'm like, while we're setting up, I'll be playing songs that I really love, and it'll kind of get us in the mood of it, and then we'll stop, and then maybe my guitarist can be like, I have this cool like riff idea, and then I'm just like more blunt, like, no, I don't like it. Let's go and do another one, you know? And they're like, they want me to do that too, because they're so cool in regards to always telling me like they're a stream of consciousness. So they're just letting it out. It doesn't mean that they precisely like it either. And then sometimes like we do a lot of like, you compromise. Yeah. You know, because they're incredible songwriters too. So, but or I'll have a rhythm in mind. Like I really want to do like a bossa nova rhythm, and that'll set the tone. They're all very like, they all have their degrees in music too. So they get excited when I say specific genre or style of drumming or rhythms or a music
time signature type shit.
Yes, they love that. So that's been really fun to work with them.
I wonder, so it's like, because I'm doing music too as a hobby, but I haven't told anyone yet. This is
the first time.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend that's a really good producer, and we've been recording. I do this thing where like I get really serious about shit, and then it's like,
Me too.
And then it's like, oh, you're good at this. Let's monetize this, and then kind of like the soul gets snatched out of it, because then I'm just like Serena Williams in that bitch. I'm like, you know?
Yes. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I sometimes take what I do a little too seriously.
Yes.
And it's like, and for me, I feel like every lyric is on the weight of my shoulders, because I'm like, that's why I'm like, I get jealous of like pop songs, because they're talking about
candy,
anything. And it's a lot of repetition, right? It's like saying the same thing over and over again.
I'm like, yeah, but like I've tried to, but I just to release it, like I need to like say some real shit. Like I don't know, like maybe I'll be in that era, but I'm just not in that era yet.
What I've been learning is like, since you're a real bitch, you're gonna say real shit,
right? So
it's like you can't be too critical about the process.
That's true.
Then it's like, even with making those sounds, right? It's like you said, it becomes this collaborative thing with you and your band. Mm-hmm. And then like sometimes you just hear a melody, right? And like I've started doing these. I wonder if you do this too. If you like have a melody, like do you just like what do you call it? What's the damn app? Yeah, the record app on your phone.
Voice memo?
Yeah, you just do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I have these moments where things come to me. This is a question I have for you. But yes. I have these certain moments. A professor gave me this book in college, and it talks about how like you reach aha moments. And I can't think of the damn name of the book. But like you achieve aha moments by doing these certain things that are like cyclical in your life. And I remember he made us do this process. You know what I'm talking about?
Not breaking point. It's
it's on the same level as breaking point.
No,
though.
yeah, it's like the I know what you're talking about though.
But I've learned that like my ahas come from when I'm just driving in the car, idle-minded. Like idle-mindedness is really good for me. So if I'm like doing dishes or I'm doing like laundry.
In the shower.
Yeah, it's like those moments of like.
You got to record it in that moment.
Yeah. What are those moments for you though? I'm curious. Like where's moments where you're just like at the grocery store, you're like, hold the fuck up, me. No?
Yes.
You know, what are those moments?
Sometimes it's happened where I wake up in the middle of the night. It has happened a few times. Oh my gosh.
Do you ever get stuff in dreams?
Yes. Lately.
Wow.
Yeah. I've had that happen where I had a dream related to art and like woke up and was like, oh my God. It was like this idea that was really inspiring to me. And I couldn't go back to sleep.
And you have to record it or
Yeah. Well, you know, I heard this one thing from anyway, some good art person. I think it was Rick Rubin maybe. Was like something like, if it's really good, you won't forget it. Like if it's really strong.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was kind of like discouraging the recording everything. And it's like,
really?
Yeah. And it's like, let the ones that like for instance, the one that I had. This kind of art here, this is a piece I made. And we kind of call this the disruptive force. And my work prior to this was like, I still do both styles, but was extremely conceptual, where I think a lot about icons and what they mean and their historical reference and mythology and trying to like tell this elaborate story, which is a lot like what Renaissance painters would do, where they would have like hand signs and like the little fruit means something and there's like a lizard and like stuff like that. I love that stuff. It's very technical painting where you have to like be good at painting. It's not like, oh, I like it, so I painted it that way. It's like there's a right way to paint it and it looks like it's realism, right? It either looks like it or it doesn't. And that is a very like technical way of approaching art. And it's for me very stressful, like, because it's like I'm constantly falling short of what the vision is. And this other type of work, this stuff is totally the other way around, where it's like flow state, where I pay attention to color and shape and kind of like these broader things. But it's like it evolves as it goes. And I lost where I was going with that.
That is so cool.
I don't want to lose your train of thought, but
I'm sure as soon as you start talking, I'll be like, I don't remember.
Well, I feel like it's like the whole thing of being like an academic artist. So you're saying about your friends that are like, everyone's like a music nerd for real, like they have degrees. It's like, I think like even with your paintings, which are beautiful, like it's like this more curated approach. Whereas like, I love this. Like, I feel like this is like you, like when we talk, it's like, that's Trueson. Like Trueson threw the fuck up and made that. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, it's like, as an artist, I feel like we think it has to be harder than it is sometimes. And sometimes the drip just be dripping.
Oh yeah. And it's all just expression. Like I've been exploring a lot of different styles of music, and maybe it could be, it's like whenever you book shows, you're going to do what you're doing in that moment, and it doesn't mean that that's what you want to, your angle, but it's like a moment in time of your music, and it's all just expression, and it needs to be flushed out. It needs to be like let out, and like maybe somebody can really like, because every show I feel like I have a different song that I add to the set that is like a different genre. Or like a meld of genres, or however, it's just different. And if somebody were just to go to that show only for the first time, maybe last time, I feel like they would categorize me as a particular artist. But if you were to see my set 2 months later, it'd be completely different sometimes. And so I used to be self-conscious about that, because I'm like, I need to stay on this specific brand, and I need to like do this.
Fuck that shit. No, I feel like that is like the death of art. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I feel that like there's a difference between entertainment and art. They're not the same thing. Art can be entertaining, but that's not its primary job. Its primary job, art with a capital A, I think, is about expression. It's about humanity. It's about having a moment with another human who is expressing their humanity, right? And sometimes that's entertaining. And music, if you go to like a pop concert, right? Pop music, I think most of the time, its job is to be entertaining. So there's like movies, I really like cinematography because I love visual art. And a lot of the cinematography in the latest like big budget Hollywood stuff drives me crazy. Like I just hate the way that it looks. So I shit on the Marvel franchise a lot because just visually it looks gross to me. I'm like, I don't like the contrast, the shadows. It's a ton of like post-processing.
It's the best.
But an example,
Marvel fan
right?
over here.
And I think about like, who do they make these things for? And it's like, well, it's the whole world, literally. There are these global franchises where they're like, get big list actors.
Straight people.
And their goal is to make, that part. Their goal is to make them entertaining. It's like a theme park. right? It's like there's a bunch of stuff and you see Iron Man and you'll see the Hulk and explosions, and it's like Godzilla versus King Kong type thing. But then you have things like the Dune Part 2, which I think has been getting a lot of popularity, which inspires me because it is entertaining.
It is.
But it is also art. And I think that like the cinematography, like the way they went about doing that is stuff that just people don't do in movies anymore, because it's like, well, why? That's not going to make us more money.
Have you seen Love Lies Bleeding?
No.
Oh my God, tell me about it. I've heard of it though.
It's so good. It's so good. Talk about like, well, Kristen Stewart's in it, and it's like a queer horror film.
Oh.
But it's very romantic. It's like gut wrenching. It's like, it's not really horror, but it has kind of like a morbid feel to it in regards to this love relationship that they have going on. I don't want to say too much, but
You don't want to spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it. I don't spoil it because I don't like spoilers unless y'all like spoilers.
Anyway, but you were bringing it up to talk about, you were saying like,
yeah, visually it's so beautiful, but it's like it'll just stay on a scene, whether it's like anything. I don't know. It's whether it's like the sky or just grass or a starry night, and it'll just stay on it for a while. And I feel like we don't have that a lot.
our attention spans have been like ruined.
Yeah, because it's like, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
You know, but
I need to see some movement.
Yeah.
It's just like the
Shut
TikToks,
up.
like the things that like cut fast, maintain people's attention longer. I think as like artists, our job though, it's easy, especially with like social media, if that's like how you're trying to get traction and find an audience. You are like, well, I got to maintain people's attention, and I
Yeah.
also want to make it entertaining, but I also want to have an expression that's unique to me, that's authentic to me. And I feel like a lot of those things are in conflict with each other. They're not always, but I really encourage, like the art that I like, the music that I think lasts is like the shit that's about like there's soul in it, right? Like the person who's doing that is like up there expressing themselves, and it's something that's within them, and it's not like, it can be entertaining. It often is. I mean, that can be like more than entertaining. It becomes like transcendent when you see somebody on stage who's like for real expressing, kind of channeling this, I don't know, like divinity in a way. This almost like meta thing that we get. That's like what they call the Holy Spirit type thing.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this too, right? To talk about where we're. I was thinking about this thing too about like, right, with like you said, artistry and entertainment, like they're kind of separate lanes. But then like,
He's out.
I'm like, is the key? Yeah, those have been really like doing their thing.
Yeah, they've been blowing.
like,
The ghost of Bruce Goff has been like talking
he's
to
like,
us.
He's here.
But the
He's here
candle
with us.
wax, that's some art right there, the way it drips.
Let her dry.
Yeah.
okay, but with artistry and entertainment, right? It's like you talk about your artistry and how like people want you to put it in a box. That's because of like entertainment and capitalism and shit. And they're like,
Showbiz.
okay, you are this thing. But like, it's like, but you're honestly like futuristic in the sense of like America will look more like you. Like, you know what I mean? So you can't like fall for the capitalism trap
I know.
of being like, and you go here. And it's like, no, like I go everywhere.
Right.
You know?
Yes. And it fills me up in here. Like in here. Like I've had to sit with myself so much. Like, cause I know, like I can detect when I'm doing something that's not me. It makes me feel like shit after. Like I'm really in tune with that. Like I've meditated a lot. I've gone to therapy. I went through all this shit. And then like, I don't want to do anything that makes me feel like shit, like, because I'm very in tune with myself. So, but there's also like, I'm not also ignorant to the fact that there is a huge platform that I can reach, you know, millions of people, and there is a way to do it. That's exciting. It's a challenge for me. Like, but I'm not gonna sacrifice my artistry or who I am or my identity
Yes.
to execute what I want to do. But I like, one thing I've had to learn the hard way, I think, with my music is I like to release projects like 5 to 6 songs, and not even like long albums either.
Like an EP.
Like EPs. I like releasing EPs. And I mean, they've been received well, like locally and even outside, but I'm now realizing that I need to go in like the singles route, and that was like a little painful because like I'm like, I need you to listen to this whole thing from beginning to end for you to understand.
I get so irritated with the singles thing. It bothers no, genuinely. I'm like, give me a fucking album. I want to put this on,
right?
And I want to just like have this for a moment. I want to like get in the moment and feel the thing and have the movement, and like that's why I love the latest Kendrick album. It came out kind of a while ago, but to me it was like a whole journey, and I would like put the whole thing on and run through it over and over again, and it moves and it has like moments. I don't know, like the singles thing, I don't know, it's tough. Like I don't know how we deal with it, because you're right, like there's this platform that could make you make money or give you an opportunity to reach more people, and I often wonder, like, what is my mission as an artist? Is my mission to be successful, and however I deem that, because that's a complicated thing? Is my mission to be profitable, to make money? Or is my mission to like pursue art with a capital A, where it's about like, I'm going to have a moment of expressing my humanity and being a vessel for the channel to express itself, and not worry about how, like, you know, like Picasso, when he was making his paintings, and there was a time where he was like starving, literally, and he would go to the this famous park, and he would catch pigeons and put them in like a baby carriage to like, so they wouldn't kick him out, and he would eat those pigeons. That's how he survived.
Oh my God.
And he was painting these like paintings that like nobody at the time thought was cool. There was like one person who was buying his work, and they were like, he wasn't making money. And this guy was like an amazing classical type artist originally, so he could have gone that route and made, but he was into modernism, this whole like movement at the time, and the bohemians, and this whole concept of artists that were like breaking molds and trying new things and creating genres that then totally changed the way humanity operates. Like modernism was more than just visual music and things being like the way we think modernism, but it's like a whole way of framing and thinking about stuff that changed the way governments and politics was influenced and stuff. And like, I don't know if when you make a thing to trend on TikTok, if it will do that. And not everybody, and again, some people are like, no, I'm not an artist, I'm an entertainer. You know, maybe that is your role. If it's like, no, I don't need to change the world. And maybe I'm too romantic, where I'm like, no, but I want my shit to be like, you know, like, I want people to be inspired, and I want it to move them, and I want them to.
And I feel
I'm
like,
the same way.
I feel like it's like very few people. I feel like we all have this ability, but it's like very few people are able to like really be like all three of those. Because it's like, okay, like let's say like your artistry is dope, your visuals are on point, your music is catchy because you see what the zeitgeist is for like what's going on right now. Like, and then like, I don't know, it's like this kind of mimicable thing about you. Like how Ice Spice came out with the orange wig. Like, what the fuck was that? Her hair doesn't even look like that. But it's like,
but now it's like her like staple.
Yeah, and it's like played into like the zeitgeist of like, oh, like TikTok meme. But like, she's actually kind of like a decent artist, you know? And like, I just feel like in a sense, like, do you need a gimmick a little bit? Like, and then it's like, do you think a gimmick cheapens your work if the gimmick gets people actually?
I'm sorry. He was talking about gimmicks, and I'm like, oh shit.
Okay. Like,
all right. Okay.
He doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't know.
Ice Spice, you need a little wig.
No, I actually have some gimmicks up my sleeve. And in fact, I would like to.
Over your sleeve?
It's actually behind
on your head.
Yeah, no.
No, but I think it's like something about being like that in the digital modern age. It's like, I don't think artists can be like, oh, I'm not keeping it real. Like, I don't know. I've never really, and this is where I'm like, meh, meh, meh. But like, I've never really like been like that about even my artistry, where it's like, I'm not keeping it real. I'm like, if as long as you're speaking from your heart and you think it's sick, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? And that's got to come from within. I know that sounds so corny, but it really has to come from within, so people can feel it. Because people we're smart. People can like see through it if it's not real. Like, people will feel that.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think that's your best art is going to be the kind of shit that hypes you up. Like the stuff that you're like, yo, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like that you feel that way about your work is like, if you're like, I don't know, I don't really like it, but I know this is what people want and I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's like, go get a job and just be a regular person at that point. That's how I feel. It's like, you're not going to make any money with this art trying to like I said earlier, people aren't going to be like, you want to go to law school? No, you have to be an artist. That's how you're going to make a living. And that's how you're going to, immigrant families aren't like, no, you got to be an artist. Okay. You can't be a doctor.
Wouldn't that be nice though?
Right.
Well,
because artists don't make any money. Like the point, that's the cliche, right? There are artists that make money and you can, but the point is you do this shit because you feel it, because it's in you, because you want to. It's like a burning thing you have to express. And I think if you let that get twisted by capitalism and let the moment of like wanting shiny things, or in my case, just like survival and security and all that, then
nice.
It could be, whatever.
Survival's cool.
Yeah, survival's cool, but whatever. One thing, I have to move to this next segment.
We're ready.
But I really wanted to talk about this other thing about survival and security, but
you can do both.
Do it as you put it on.
Real quick. So I'm going to talk about these. So my mother, for real, I'm a very sarcastic person. I make lots of jokes and I can be facetious at times, but I'm not joking when I'm talking about this. My mother is actually like a psychic, for real, today. Like a medium is like what it's called. So people hire her to give them psychic readings. And I'm not playing, I'm dead ass serious. So she does like these psychic readings for people, and she usually will like contact their dead relatives or something like that. Is kind of like what they're into. And I have like very anti that kind of stuff. But lately with this practice that I've been exploring in my art practice, I started taking this creative reading thing more seriously and trying to do like what she does. Anyway, so this is a device that I use that when I put it on, it allows me to give you a creative reading. So it's like psychic creative readings. So I'm going to see your all your shit that's you, and sometimes it's could be a bit personal. It's always personal.
Okay.
So I want to get your permission before I put it on and do that.
You have my consent.
Thank you. But the thing about it is like, I'm not going to know what this is. This is you. I don't know you very well, right? This is our first time really having a conversation. So I'm going to see stuff that...
You have to do both of us.
No, I mean, maybe I'll he's had a reading before.
We have time. The producers say no.
Yeah.
Okay, so just be fine.
The thing about this...
Okay, we'll do it after.
Yeah, we could do one afterward. The thing about this reading, and people do pay me to give them readings, by the way. It's part of my practice. For real.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. But yeah, you're going to have to explain what this is. Because like, I don't know your family. I don't know your history. I don't know any of this stuff. So as I see things like that, you're going to have to tell me what it is. Because I'll just be like, I see a person. You'll see what I do. I'll just tell you what I see. And you have to tell us what that is.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm seeing a bouquet of roses, red roses, and looks like you're putting them on a gravestone. It's raining. Yeah, you're sitting there in the rain. You're putting you have a bouquet of roses in your hand, and you're putting this at a gravesite.
Probably my abuelita's grave.
Okay. Were you close to her at all?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
She loved roses.
She loved roses. There you go.
Not him eating.
Girl.
Interesting.
Girl.
Okay. Well, have you been thinking about her lately?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you been thinking about her lately?
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's clearly in your aura, in your energy.
Aww.
Do you have has that been... Tell me a little bit about her. I'm curious.
Yeah, so Abuelita Carmen on my dad's side. Recently, yesterday actually, I went out with a friend and he was hanging out with his abuelita who was visiting him from Ecuador, who happened to be named Carmen. So he was like, well, actually, this didn't happen yesterday. It happened a few weeks ago, but we talked about it yesterday. And I was like, that was so wild because I have abuelita Carmen too.
Wow.
So it's definitely been on my mental lately.
Okay. I'm seeing oh God, this sounds so cliche, but I see you like standing in a Texas desert is what I'm assuming it is. It's like got the cactuses. It looks like a movie set. And it's like an image of you standing there silhouetted and the sun is setting and there's like trumpets framing this image on either side. And it's the music sounds like the kind of, have you seen a Quentin Tarantino movie before? It sounds like one of those kind of Quentin Tarantino themes, like blaring trumpets. It's your silhouette framed by like a half sunset I'm assuming it's Texas, but it could be, there's a lot of parts of the world that look like that, but in like the Hollywood kind of look.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know. Does that mean anything to you?
That might be my next like album cover or something.
Oh shit. Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Desert vibes.
I mean, I've been definitely playing into the cactus like.
Oh, I'm getting another image. Sorry. I'm seeing you at a kitchen and you're cutting carrots. Like you're chopping carrots on a cutting board. You have putting them into like a soup, into like a bubbling pot on the stove. There's a radio playing. I don't know. I can't pick up the music. It's like music playing. Something kind of like that. Anyway,
Like a cumbia.
there's I hear now there's like, I can't see who this figure is, but there's a male figure and I'm noticing he's got cowboy boots, black cowboy boots, starched like pants with a crease down the middle going over them. And he's this positive presence in the room as he's walking in. Yeah, I don't know. And that's what I'm seeing. You have lipstick on, like bright red lipstick, and your hair's like done up, like up high. There's like a window open and like a warm summer breeze coming in.
Wow.
That's what I'm seeing.
That's beautiful. I don't know who that would be though.
The cowboy boots. Okay. Maybe this could be the future.
Maybe.
Like they're like dark gray, kind of like slacks, I guess. They're like they're like the heavy duty like slacks that are like not the kind that rip easily, not like but they're like got a crease down the middle, black cowboy boots.
Interesting.
Maybe it's a new boo or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my man.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. This cowboy reference, is that at all related to you right now?
Yes. Last night, me and my friends wanted to go buy some like real like cowboy boots at Stockyards.
Oh, nice.
And we've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I am Texan.
You got boots on your mind.
Yeah, I am Texan. I mean, that's so weird. You're really good at this.
Oh, thank you.
Weird.
I told you it runs in my bloodline.
You weren't playing because I didn't know if you were playing or not.
I know.
You can never really tell.
No, I'm like, I was like, I want to be respectful, like, but I also want to like have fun, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I know it could be kind of personal too. It's like a weird feeling, uncomfortable feeling if somebody's like, get
I
out of
love
here.
it.
I didn't give you.
No,
Can't see that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And because I am a Texas girly at heart, and like I love me some like I do love like ranchero music, and like ranchero music is country music at the end of the day. But like we've been like taught to think that country music is white people music, which obviously it's not. We already know it's not. But like finding my voice in that too. Been thinking about doing some like rancheras in the future.
Oh, cool. What about carrots? I know that was the first image I saw. I was like, I don't know if I'm like, that is a weird one, but
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get stuff and I'm like, I'm not going to
carrots.
filter this. I'm going to literally tell you what I see. And it may make me look like I don't know what I'm doing, but that's just how you trust the process.
It's beautiful because it shows how like sure you are of yourself to say what you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what like my mom told me. Like if you try to like influence to impress the person, it fucks it up. So you literally have to just like, this is the vision. I'm going to tell you the vision. This is what I got. And then that's it. Anyway, I'm going to take them off now.
Can we like do an applause for him? Because that was.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's go.
thank you.
Woo!
Okay. So tell us like what you're doing, what you got going on.
Yes. So I will talk about the West Coast tour I have currently. Like we're wrapping up on final dates, but it's going to be in August. And I'll be releasing a few singles for the tour, really pushing that in the West Coast. I'm excited. I can't say yet like what specific venues yet, but a few like venues like right next to the beach, which I'm really excited for.
That's too cool.
And I actually told myself, I've always wanted to go to LA. I've never been, but I told myself a few years ago, I was like, the only way I'm stepping foot in LA is if I have a show booked. That's the only way.
Amen.
And now it's happening. So,
Let's go.
It's going to feel like a vacation. I'm going to be doing work, but I'd rather, really perform my music there. And we'll have like a few days off too. So like the band and I can like go to the beach or go explore. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. I already had done an East Coast tour a few years ago, which was excellent. But I definitely feel like my music would do really well in West Coast. A little better. It might be received even more. I feel like.
Once you get there, you're definitely going to see what I'm talking about. How it's just like, you're just going to be so well received.
Maybe the desert I saw was California.
Maybe.
The sun setting, right? It sets in the west, doesn't it?
Rising east,
setting in the west. The sun was setting. Where can people find your stuff?
On all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. Where do you listen to your music?
I have Spotify and Apple Music because
Period.
friends send me playlists on both. So I'm like, I guess I have both.
Yeah.
But spell your name out for them so they can find it.
Lincka, Lincka. Period. And then social media is Lincka Music, like everywhere. So Lincka, Lincka Music, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, I wanted to thank everybody who made this happen. The historic Riverside Studios, Pop House Music, ASLUT Zine, Citizens of Sound, and Richard Song, and myself, Trueson Daugherty, for making this happen, the channel. And before I announce our musical guest who will be performing in the parlor, would you tell us, we have a little catchphrase we want our guests to do, where you say, keep the channel open, or you can say your name, introduce yourself, and then say, keep the channel open.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So my name is Lincka. I'm a Chicana artist, and you should keep the channel open.
And with that, I'd like to introduce our musical guest, performing live from the parlor, Asha Lacole!
You should be stronger than me. You've been here 7 years longer than me. Don't you know you're supposed to be the man? Now pale in comparison to who you think I am. You always wanna talk it through. Well, I don't care, no. Always have to comfort you when I'm there. But that's what I need you to do. Stroke my hair. 'Cause I ain't forgotten all of your love's joy. Feel like a lady, yeah, you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me. But instead, you're longer than frozen decay. Why'd you always put me in control? When all I need is for my man to live up to his role. You always wanna talk it through. I'm okay. Always have to comfort you every day. But that's what I need you to do. Are you okay? so many lessons to learn. I say you don't know what love is. Get a grip. You sound as if you're reading from some other tired script. I'm not gonna meet your mother anytime, no. I just wanna grip your body over mine. Please tell me why you think that's a crime. Oh, 'cause I've forgotten all of your love's joy. Feel like a lady and you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me. 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 But I